So let me just narrate that one more time. An F chord is F, A, C. Those are the notes. An F major 7 is F, A, C, E. That's why we can have that open high E string. C chord is C, E, G. C, E, G, C, E. That's what we got there. And a D7, D, A, C, F sharp. If you set it in order, D, F sharp, A, C. We'll talk about all that. But if that's relevant to where you're at, you can start playing around with different ways to play it. You could put your F sharp there. You could play a C chord with a G in the bass because you know it's going to smoothly move to that inverted D7, which is nicely going to walk down to a full F and then a C. All right. Let's bounce around a little bit. We'll just look at the chorus again through a couple levels. So there, I wrote F, but you could play F major 7. You could play a full F. Da, da, da. The melody, though, is as we start to analyze that riff, the melody does really kind of lean into that major 7, that open E. So we got F, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, D7, 2. So all of these chords have that note, that C right there. And I think it's really valuable to know where all your notes are because, as you saw when I was improvising, if I'm playing an F right there and I know that's a C, and there's a C in all of these chords, that's me moving through those chords, but really droning on that one C. All right, so if you're feeling level 1 on this, really confident, whole note. Just hit the chord and let it ring. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, just like we warm up. 4, C, 2, 3, 4, D7, 2, 3, 4. That's plenty to work on, level 1. So keep playing that while, if you want to look at this riff, let's do that. Can't really see my guitar. There we go. So what we're doing here is I personally like to play it like this. If we really analyze, well, we won't analyze it yet. But this is over the F chord, so we're going. Right there, so these notes, 10 and 10 on the G and the B string, those are in everything. All you're doing is changing the high note. And there's that little kind of walks down the same way it came up. So I'll trust you will work on that in your solo time. And then I would play this little C shape, 10, 9, 8. And I would use the pinky. Let's see what we have to do here. Okay, so right there. Then see how it says, so we got there. Now right here we need to get up to this. So take what you have here. I've played the little C shape, I've added the pinky, and now I'm just gonna move this up. Now, because again, this is a C, whole step up is a D. So right here, I think he goes, it's tricky, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You can really see why knowing your beats, you can learn riffs really fast and solos. So we got 1 and 2, that's your first goal. 1 and 2, now let's go. This is the last measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then you just take the pinky off and you do. And again, if you're level 1, be working on your F to C to D7. Notice that finger is in all of them. So one more time, I'll play that riff for you. and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 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 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then you'll see it on the main tab, but then he does kind of take a break where he finally resolves back to C. So I would just use this chord right here, 10, 9, 8. C, E, G, C, E, G. All right, let's take a little breather right there. So again, F major 7, 2 measures, C, 2, 3, 4, D, 7. Now, let's analyze it. Before we get to that verse. F, C, and again, a lot of it's like the feeling. Where does it feel like it resolves to? Feels like it resolves to C to me. I believe the song is in C. This is not the easiest song to analyze, though. There's supposed to be a whiteboard right there, but there's not. See if I can add one. I'm scared. I can't do that. It's going to make it crash. Okay. The old-fashioned whiteboard. Still have this from special scales practice session. I can't get up. I'm locked in here. Okay. Well, the whiteboard was working a second ago. I apologize. We won't analyze it. We'll try a graphic that works. And then I'll look at that in a sec. So we got this guy, F, F, C, D7. Now let's play this. You can see why I wanted to analyze it first. So for the most part, it feels like it's in C, but you almost actually want to think of the verse as like a key change. Because the C is the 1, the D7 is a major 2 or a dominant 2. And again, just let this hit your brain if it's new to you, but also absorb it if it's relevant to where you're at in the music theory convo. But we've talked about that, say in C. We've talked about the 5 of 5. In C, G is the 5. D is the 5 of G. So I've referred to a major 2 chord as the 5 of 5. That's only if it goes to the 5. Notice here it doesn't. It just goes 1, 2. C is the 1, D7's the 2. 1, 2. Same thing in that chorus. C is the 1, F is the 4. That D7 is not setting up a 5 chord, so it's just a major 2 chord or a dominant 2 chord. When I say dominant or dominant 7 2 chord. There's my verbal analysis, but in the key of, I assume that whiteboard's not coming back. It's not. So mentally, we'll just have to go over this real quick. C major. C, whole step to D, whole step to E, half step to F. Got that? It gets us halfway there. C, whole step to D, whole step to E, half step to F. Whole step to G. Remember I said the 5 of C is G. So we got C, D, E, F, G. Whole step to A, whole step to B, half step back to C. Takes 8 notes to get an octave. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That's the sound of the 7 to the 8. Da, da, the resolve. Normally your 1 chord is major, your 2 chord is minor. So C, D minor. But in this song he plays it as a D major or a D dominant 7, which is a type of major chord. And it's not setting up something else, so I would just call that, I would put a capital Roman numeral 2 with a big 7 next to it. The capital, the uppercase, means it's major. So analyzing the chorus. C is the 1, Roman numeral 1. Roman numeral 2, uppercase, with this exact type of 7. And then we said this scale was C, D, E, F is the 4. This is a 4 chord. So the chorus, if I was in the band, and someone was just sitting in, I'd say, all right, the chorus goes 4, 4, 1, major 2. 4, 4, 1, major 2, or dominant 7. 2, dominant 7. You could say it like that, 2, dominant 7. Let's look at this. I'm not going to get too hung up on the analysis, but we can chat about it in the Q&A. But let me give you some ways of playing that, because you guys can get through the pre-chorus at all levels, but then getting through that verse. And again, I do want you guys all to be playing bar chords after, say, a year of broadcast guitar, which would be a good goal. But check this out. I would play this if you're level 1 for B flat. 3rd fret on the G, 3rd fret on the B, 1st fret on the high E. It's a 3-note chord. It's still not easy. 3, 3, 1. And let's analyze it. 3rd fret there, B flat, C, or I'm sorry, D, B flat, D, and F. Apologies. B flat, D, F. That's a B flat chord. That is right there. First one, you can see it there on the left. First chord of the verse is B flat. Fear not, we're headed to B flat major 7. For all you theorists out there, a major 7 chord is a major chord where you add the 7th note of its scale. What is the 7th note of a B flat scale? It's an A natural, because the 7th note is a half step lower than the root. B flat, half step lower, A. But remember, you only get one of each letter. That's why I wouldn't say A sharp. It's B flat, that's our B, and then the A is natural. So right here, B flat, D, F. Let's just do this. A, D, F for the major 7. And now you're home free, F major 7. B flat. Pre-chorus, C. Then D7. 2, 1, 2. I can tell my life has gone. It's getting harder and harder to taste it. That'll get you there. Okay, one more time. I'll use my narration as a chance to drive home what notes we're playing. B flat is a B flat, D, and an F. So that's why you can get by with just that. 3, 3, 1. And then a B flat major 7 is 1, 3, 5, 7. B flat, D, F, and then the 7, the natural 7, is a half step lower than a B flat. It's an A. So I take this B flat and I flat it right there. Again, I'm just getting by with a few of the notes in the chord. A, D, F, and then finally F major 7, you know. B flat major 7, F major 7. C, is it real? Then D7. C again, I can tell my life has gone. Chorus, F major 7, the waves come rolling in, roll C, baby, waves come rolling D7, walk right out, you can walk back in, waves come rolling in, baby, the C chord. And apologies that I haven't busted out the actual whiteboard because I don't see a dry erase marker. But let's talk about it a little bit more. So this pre-chorus to me is, see the C, wherever it is, C to D7. That's pretty straightforward. Because again, that just comes back to that 1 to the dominant 2. Dominant the major 2 chord as a dominant 7. I don't know what exactly you'd call that. 2-7, I want to say it's called. C, D major. I mean, you could even get through the song with just C to D major. It doesn't have to be dominant 7. And the way getting harder and harder to taste it. Because why do we put that C, or why does D7 tie into a C a little bit better, especially if it's a borrowed chord like this one is? Because a D7 is not normally in C major. But a D7 is D, F sharp, A, C. So by tying those 2 chords together with one note, I think it can really help the fact that it's leaning out of the key. That C is in there. And it's in that F major 7. So to me, you kind of have to look for something that ties the chords together. Might not always be there. It might just be the melody that does it. But in this case, all C, D7, and F have a C in them. But then that B flat chord kind of comes out of nowhere. Whereas I almost think of the verse as like a key change, where F kind of acts like the 1 chord, like the resolve, and the B flat chord is the 4 of the F. So again, this is higher level, but music theory terms, the 1 chord is called the tonic, the 4 chord is called the subdominant, and the 5 chord is called the dominant. And it's confusing because we use some of those words, like the D7, we call it a D dominant 7. So we're using those words in different ways at different times. But what it is like F is the subdominant of C. F is the 4 of C. But when that verse comes, the 4 of F is B flat. So it's kind of like a little trickery where he hits that B flat. It sort of comes out of nowhere, where you're like, you're in this world. Our ear is used to C, and then he goes down a whole step. Da 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 da. You see, now that F feels like the 1. Da da da, B flat, da na 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 na, B flat major 7, back to the F. Then it goes to the pre-chorus. Is it real? Da da da. But then by the time it gets to the pre-chorus, now that C feels like the 1 again, as you can see. I was just kind of going back to the F to see if that still felt like the 1. So kind of a key change. There's a lot of, I was Googling before this, depends on how theoretically terminology heavy you want to get. But you wouldn't really say the 4 of 4, but it's, even though the B flat is acting like that, which is, although I did see, and I've heard people say subdominant, meaning like 4 of 4, the 4's 4. So just think of it as, if you're at that point where that theory makes sense to you, C is the 1, F is the 4. But what is the 4 of F? That requires knowing all your scales. It is F, G, A, B flat. 4 of F is B flat. Da 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 da. So however you want to think of it, 4 of 4. Normally in the key of C, I would call that a flat 7. Still could. Flat 7. Flat 7 major 7 to the 4. Then we're back to the 1. Then the 2 dominant 7 to the 1 to the 2 dominant 7. Now test yourself. Do you remember how the chorus goes? What are the 3 chords? It's in the key of C, but it doesn't start there. It starts on F. C. D7. And you can really feel how that D7 just kind of like, it just does this sort of like rising and then falling back. We're like, and now we're back in the key. It just does this cool little, that's the F, that's the 4. 1, could just stay there. But as a songwriter, Sam Evian was playing around D7. And it's just one of those things, the more songs you learn, the more songs you analyze, you start to see these things, even if some people would say, oh, it's a key change to the verse. Other people would say, no, it's not. It's just F is the 4, B flat is setting up the 4. But my point being, I have seen that before. And I bet Sam Evian also might theorize that way, or he might just be like, I learned this Beatles song, it does that, and I wrote a new melody for it. So, because like I said, the main thing is, can you play the right note? Can you play it at the right time or the right chord? And then can you do it with feeling? That's probably as far as anyone cares, the listener cares about. But anyways, so let's look at it one more time from a level 1, and then I'll zip up to level 5 just to talk about how you could play around with that kind of song. So where is it? Chorus, we got F major 7. And remember, you can always hit it on the first beat and let it ring. C, and then D7. And you know you're doing it right if that index finger never moves. And then it does have a resolve to C. It's not on the page. I mean, it's not on the screen today. But you know it's in the key of C because then he finally takes a break right on the C chord. Then, scene change. B flat. We're doing it like this for level 1. 3rd fret on the G with the ring finger. 3rd fret on the B with the pinky. 1st fret on the high E with the index. Just a little 3-note chord. You got to restrict your pick. B flat major 7. These are going to stay, but now I go here. 2nd fret. And now the middle finger is set up for F major 7. B flat. Da, da, da. B flat major 7 sets up the F chord, or F major 7. Here comes the pre-chorus, and it's C. Back to D7. I can tell my life has gone. It's getting D7. Then okay, let's analyze that riff. So he's playing over an F chord. He's going F, A, C. That's an F chord. Makes total sense. He might do it differently. F, A, C. It's right there. Let me zoom in for you. So I was doing F right there, 10th fret, A right under it, and then I personally like to hit the C right there. Because I need to be able to hold these down, and if I did this, I could do that. It's a little clunky, but then I really am in trouble when I need to get here. So your shapes are, I use the ring sometimes. Now we have a D up there and an E. So just over the F chord, he's playing in the melody C, D, there's that high E, and then back to the D. So if you know your extended chords, there's nothing going on here. This is F, A, C. That's a major chord. But then once he puts this on, the D, here, an F with a D in it is an F6 because the D note is the 6th note of the D is the 6th note of the F scale. So an F chord with a D added to it is an F6. And then an F chord with an E. E is the 7th note, so it's an F major 7. And then back to the 6. F, F6, F major 7, there, and then back to C. So let's be able to move that around. So let's say you're playing, how do I want to do this? Let's try it here. F, A, C. Now we need F, A, D. If this is the C, I could go F, A, D, and now F, A, E. You can see, like, physically that's hard to do, but I want you to be able to see those chords move around. F, A, C, F, A, D, F, A, E, and let's say you wanted to finish with an F chord right there, an F, F, A, F. And then he goes to a C chord. What does he do? Right there. C, E, G, C, E, A. So he's turning a C chord into a C6. Excuse me, because the sixth note of a C scale is C, D, E, F, G, A. So as you can see, you make a sixth chord by playing a major chord and adding the sixth note of its scale. You make a major seventh chord by playing the major chord and adding the seventh note of its scale. What else can we do with that? First off, props to Sam Evian too. I saw him live, and the whole outro of this song is just the chorus, F, C, D7. So there's a long saxophone solo. Did not know the man played saxophone. I knew he was a guitar player, drummer, keyboard player, and bass player. But he just puts the guitar down, picks up the sax, and then plays this like virtuosic 4-minute Pink Floyd-esque saxophone solo. Just being your musical host too, I would say if you dig the song, I do think there's a little bit of Pink Floyd influence in there. I know Sam Evian's a huge Beatles guy, so there's probably some Beatles in there. But to me, if you listen to Us and Them by Pink Floyd, just these like long, silky smooth, pull on your heartstrings, but still have this sort of hard to pin down feeling. Us and Them by Pink Floyd, I would say, is probably something he thought about on this one. But he's soloing with the sax. We'll wrap up in a second, but then we'll do the Q&A. But for the next 2 minutes, he's soloing over the 4 chord to the 1 chord to the dominant 2 chord. So first off, he could be playing F, and then over the C chord, G, and then over the D7 chord, F sharp. Sounds a little weird in that position. Let's maybe try it here. F. I don't like where I did this. Let's do it like this. Over the F chord, let's play an F. Over the C chord, let's play a E. And then over the D7, let's play that F sharp. As weird as that sounds. But you'll see how it actually works once you know those notes in that chord. Let's see. Cool. F. F. Here's an E. F sharp. F. F sharp. So things like that, being able to move through those chords and know the notes in the chords. So let's say I was soloing in that world. So right here, I'm playing over, I know in my mind I'm playing over that D7 chord, D, F sharp, A, C, and I just happen to be playing F sharp, A, C right there. I know I'm in the key of C, so a B natural is probably going to sound pretty good. And you can hear how interesting those things sound just on their own. Here's a C. Here's a C6. Here's a C major 7. Solo, he goes to the F. This is G, C, E. I know I'm headed to a D7, so I might want to turn the G into an A, keep the C, and then turn this E into an F sharp. And now check this out. A, C, F sharp. I'm headed to an F major, which is F, A, C, so I could go A, C, F. Then here's my C, and then here's my D7. Play that for a second. So a lot of movement in there. Let's pull it back to me. Let that soak in. Again, totally playable. Level 1, F major 7, C, D7. I'll throw the video up on the site after this so you can review that B flat right there. B flat major 7, F. That'll get you through the verse. If you're a bar chord player, you can play your B flat like this. You can play your B flat major 7 like this, and your F like this. You could play your B flat like this. You could play your B flat major 7 like this, and your F like this. If you like to invert your chords, you could play F, C, inverted D7. I put the F sharp in the bass. Sounds kind of nice to go to a inverted C as well. Let's take an intermission. Let's talk fave album of 2024. See you guys in 90 seconds.